Hello peeps, my name's Slithility112 and I'm speaking about languages today. Usually I would speak about Japanese, but today I speak about general languages. How you can improve your learning curve in any language you want. This is great, right? Is this great? This is great, huh? So Baza said in his latest video that improving your Japanese skills, you need to kind of like create a second character that is just specified for this one culture, for the Japanese culture. Well, you don't actually need to do that, but his best students do this, or kind of do this. Now let's say it so. This second character, I wouldn't say this is a second character, but this applies actually to every language. And in every language you want to learn, doesn't matter. Doesn't fucking matter whatever language it is. You just need to learn the culture before you learn anything else. This is really important. This is how I learned English. You will be surprised. English is not fully my native language. I grew up with English, yes. And of course, I'm born and raised in Germany. And German and English are both kind of my native languages. If I don't know something in English, I won't know it in German. It's just matter of fact. Now it just happens, I just know it, and it just happens 100% all of the time when I don't know something. Saying that before I met the word floxinoxinihabilification, I never had a fucking idea that English also has weird words as German has. I never had a fucking idea that English also has weird words as German has. Now, let's get back to languages. Saying that learning a culture first is key for learning a language is true. You know, before I reached my native level in English, back in the days when I was just a German child, I was watching MTV. And here in Germany, back then, I don't know if it's still the case, but I don't watch MTV anymore, but it was always German subbed. You always had German subtitles, and everything was in English. And I must say, English and German are pretty straightforward. So they are not as close as German and Norwegian, but they are closer than German and Japanese. Let's say it so. However, if you watch Jackass, you probably know the intro. Nitro Circus and all that kind of shows. And through those shows, I learned about the American culture. It was so different to me back then. Because all I knew was, and you will love, all I knew was just normal German stuff. Which I'm not saying about Bavarian shit like Lederhosen or something like this shit. What I just mean is, all I knew about was just the place where I lived, this little village where I was now. And ever since then, ever since I was watching MTV day by day, or every day I could actually, I was learning about the culture. I couldn't understand shit. I couldn't even learn any shit there. But when I first started, I think it was around second class? Second or third class in primary school, we had our first English lessons. And it was really easy for me. I only had A marks for like the whole primary school. I had A marks on English. And in secondary, I had B marks, C marks, but I still had the most A marks, and I was still the class best in English. You could say I was teacher's favorite, though teachers here in Germany are not allowed to have a favorite in the class. Back then they hadn't, and they still don't have. Saying that I first learned the language and then first learned the culture and then the language made it pretty easy for me. So for everybody who's out there who tries to learn a language, stop, lay down the pencil, stop learning the fucking language. Go out, learn the culture, stay inside, I don't fucking care, and learn the culture. First learn the culture. Let it explain to you by people you probably know, maybe from this culture, who maybe speaks your language. Let them explain you what is wrong, what is morally wrong, what is morally right, what you do normally in the morning, what you normally do when you greet somebody, how you do that, and what you shouldn't do when you're thanking somebody, or when you're actually just the normal do's and don'ts of social conversation. Saying, aka the culture. The culture isn't just about history or religion or about rights and stuff, or, you know, culture is about social interactions. Oh, okay. So in Germany, outtakes. So in Germany, around midday or 12 o'clock, we have this certain time which is called dinner time. Or, yeah, it is dinner time. Where we have at work, around, or anything else, and also in schools, we have these, around, as I said, around 12 o'clock. We have like 30 to 60 minutes time to get something to eat, something warm to eat. I mean, you can also eat something cold, holy shit. But something to eat, and then get back to work. And you always say, if you greet another or see another colleague while it's your or while it's the time, you greet them with Mahlzeit, which basically is nothing else than you're saying literally to them dinner time. It might look a bit ridiculous if you see some people running around and saying dinner time over and over again to each other. But what you basically do is wishing somebody else, or that one where you're saying it to, a good dinner time. And that implies good appetite and a restful break and a good productivity after that break. And that is, some places it's morally really bad if you don't do this. At the place where I am, well, I must say the people here in Saxony-Anhalt, or especially there in Magdeburg, if you don't say dinner times to somebody, to your colleague, some people make a really big thing out of it. There not so much people out of there, but many people will just think like, oh man, he probably has a bad day, or something like this. Some people are just, sometimes some people are just like, okay. Some people are just like that. You can't change it. They just take it, you know. They're just very few people who really make a big thing out of it here, and this is why I love living here. This is why I also say here at my place and not all around Germany, because I know every single state here is different. Saxony-Anhalt is totally different than Berlin. Berlin is totally different than Munich or Bavaria in general. And North Rhine-Westphalia is totally different than the Saarland. So we have so many different states, but not as much as the United States of America. But all those little states, they have a different culture. But all in together, we are all still Germans. So after I explained to you this, you probably if you are learning German, you probably will understand much better some words. Basically, you will, if you ever learned the word dinner time, Mahlzeit, if you learned this word, you know when to use it. And it is, again, if you wouldn't know this if I wouldn't have said you, this is part of our culture. So, saying that the culture defines what you use, what kinds of words what you also use, and what kind of the situation, then you learn about words much more differently, much more better, because some things are just like rules made up in the language just to keep things straight. And I think also Japanese is a pretty straightforward language. It's just all about practice. What I learned through. I mean, after this 2 weeks of learning hiragana and katakana, I learned that it's all about practice. It's all about practice and nothing else. You just need to practice until you fall down, and the rest is so easy that you actually think you actually are guessing riddles why people are thinking that this language is the hardest language, or one of the hardest languages. I personally think Arabic is the hardest language. People might think Finnish is the hardest language. Other people might say German is the hardest language. And I can tell you why there is difference, and this is really important about how to learn a language really fast. This also explains why I learned Norwegian in 1 year. And let's have a little look at languages itself. Saying that basically let's have a look on Norwegian, Swedish and Danish. Why all those 3 languages, you might say? Well, people from that country might know already. The whole area, German, Danish, Swedish and Norwegian, is coming from the old Danish. The first Danish, actually you could say it's Ur-Danish, or however you want to call it. It's the first version of Danish, if you want to see it like this. And this was what the old Vikings spoke. But all over the place there was so many different dialects and stuff like this. So basically after a time, I know from history that Danish, or the Denmark, Sweden and Norwegian people, Sweden, Norwegian, Swedish, the Danish, the Swedish and the Norwegian people tried to, let's say, make up an own thing, like the UK, you know? They tried to make something like the United Scandinavian lands. You get the idea. So when they used to make a thing, make their own thing, their language grew together. And since German, or the Germans, were kind of a mixture between Vikings and Celts, yeah, we are. They were going a bit more away from that. So that is also explaining why those 4 languages, or the Scandinavian language and Scandinavian languages and German, are so different to each other. But still, they are really, really heavy related to each other. So heavy related languages are easy to learn. Saying that basically you need to know where your language comes from, where your own native language comes from. And when you learn about that, you will have probably no problem to learn any other language that has the same root as yours. Trust me, I learned Norwegian in 1 year. Now I understand Danish people, now I understand Swedish people, and I just learned Norwegian. And I'm still not even really extremely good at it, you know? I can speak it, I can use it, but I'm still not the best. You know, I still haven't reached the level where I'm in English right now. I'm glad that I can speak it. So, the same goes for Japanese. Japanese might seem complicated to you, or actually also to me, but that is only the case because Japan is so far away from our languages, our countries. Well, except you're Chinese, then you probably have no problem with kanjis, and I'm really, 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 really mad at you because you have a really good. It's easier to learn kanji. But after all, Japanese is actually fine and easy language to learn. Saying that any language you learn might be difficult for first, except for the languages that are close to your language. But after all, if you learn this language, you will have no problems learning other languages that are close to this language as well. To give you another little example for the end, I am learning other languages through English. This is no shit, I'm learning Japanese through English. Because most of the stuff you get, the best stuff actually for learning, you get in English. And as I see, Japan borrowed many words from other languages in their language. Saying, for example, that a television is in Japanese, and oh shit, you will never guess it's terebi. Or a radio, you will never guess what it is. Radio. So you basically have stuff that it's just really easy to just learn the words, because you actually already know them, you just need to pronounce them different. Like for cola, it's cola. It is easy. Apparently it goes easy as hell, because Japanese and English are actually much more heavy related than you think they are. Many words in the Japanese language are borrowed from English, but not only from that language, they're also borrowed from other languages. I might be in a good here, because I speak now 3 languages, but that doesn't mean anything at all. Because, as I said, Norwegian and German are heavy, or actually Scandinavian languages and German are really heavy related, saying that probably things that are in the region are also kind of the same in German. Basic word that is really hard related with any language that I know: tea. Tea in English, tea in German, tea in Norwegian. Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. You know, you dicks. So I hope this video somehow gave you something for learning your language that you want to learn. Please let me in the comments know if it brought to you something, or if you have anything else that you want to give on to this, that you maybe want to add to it. Your own experiences. I mean, I only learned 3 languages in nowadays society as I saw it around my working area, closest working area. It's not that much, to be honest. However, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. And maybe share it with your friends, because maybe it helps them as well if they are learning another language and not playing Final Fantasy all day long. Fuck it, I'm out of here. Goodbye.
Tsubasa. He's a really good guy. Link in the description below.
Oh my god, what am I doing here? It might look really ridiculous at first, but when you realize that you are actually wishing somebody else a good break, a good break, and because we have an at work, you must see around 12 o'clock we always have our dinner time, which is basically just a break for around 30 minutes, where we just go and eat somebody. Eat somebody. Oh shit. Oh my god, I'm dying. I can't. Oh fuck. I need somebody. Oh, okay. So in Germany. Oh, outtakes.